Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a two-parter. One, I'm going to be answering questions from the little questions I asked if you guys had from me in my community post. And then I'm going to be going into this, like the plans for this, and kind of talking about my channel and the next, I'd say 6 months to a year, the plans I have coming up for everything. So let's get into that video. First things first, I do need to respond to questions and comments throughout my other videos, but because I want to talk to you guys about my project for this room, talk to you guys a little bit about my YouTube journey so far in general, and you know, just kind of have a more chit-chatty personal conversation, I figured answering 3 to 4 questions and then going into that would be better than having a super long video and then feeling rushed at the end. So the first bit will be the questions, the second bit will be the channel and personal update. Now the first question is from Sounding the Depths, and they ask, what was the biggest turnaround you ever had with a fragrance? Hated it or expected to hate it, then loved it, or vice versa? Now this was from a sample that a friend of mine who was a sales associate had brought from home for me to try, because I would always let him know when I was coming in to make purchases or to try something new. He'd be like, hey, come in today, I can show you something that's coming in. And so we were more friends than sales associate and customer, but he brought like the sample, and I forget the name of the brand. I forget everything about it because this was like a long time ago, like a few years ago. I tried it on my skin and it was just a scrubber. And he was like, I was trying other things. So I tried something here, I tried it on strips, and I just remember it being like, oh, and then like I went to like get something to eat because I was gonna grab something to eat and then go back and like purchase something. And I just remember like eating, because you know there was a Neiman Marcus had like a little kitchen upstairs that I loved, and I just remember like eating and just smelling my wrist, and excuse my little bump here, but just smelling my wrist and just realizing that this transformed. It was just amazing. The transformation was similar to this really old Boal I drank one time, and I drank it, and it was from like 1827. This was like an crazy amount of money for not fragrance, wine, but it was amazing. I don't know if I could afford a bottle of it, but having a little bit to drink was really nice. And the first thing you taste when your tongue tips it, like touches it, the tip of it touches it, there we go. And it was like tar, like just ugh. It was like ugh. And then like not even a split second later, it was like the most delicious like fruity caramel. And I was like, what is this? Like, and my friend who had purchased a bottle of it was like, this is this. And I drank it a few more times. It was terribly expensive, terribly. I think for a quarter ounce of it at the time, it was like $400. Like, it was ridiculously expensive. It was very much a special occasion thing. And I just remember being like, hating it in the beginning and then madly in love in like a split second. And that's kind of like what this fragrance did. Like the change was like from the taste of tar, like a scrubber, like you hate it, to something super delicious and appealing. So for me, like I love caramel, I love creamy things, I love fruity things. So like a fruity caramel, like in my mouth, oh, it's so good. And so that's like the fragrance was. It transformed from a literal hate to a literal obsession. And unfortunately, I don't remember because it was his fragrance sample and I sampled it, and he brought like a big bag of them. So I wish I remembered what that fragrance was. I didn't care about it because I didn't like it. And oh, that was the biggest turnaround. It was like within, I'd say like 15 minutes, I was like, I hate scrubber, like to a lot. Also, if I don't get to your question in this video, it's because I'm probably going to do a video on that, because some of these questions I think are better soul dedicated videos. So if I don't answer your question, it's because there's a video the next few weeks. It'll probably be the topic of conversation, or be the video. So the next question is from Q Third Wheel, and they ask, which fragrances do you have a backup for, either because you enjoy and reach for them a lot, or discontinued and just had to have another? I really don't have backups. The only fragrance I have backups of is She from House of Matriarch, because I was so involved in that project and because that's a fragrance that I love so much. And I understand that there's like vintage ingredients in there, so like you'll never get them again. So I wanted to make sure I had at least a backup or two of that perfume. The only other fragrance that I would consider a backup is actually, I have a red bottle of Chanel number 5, but I'm not too worried about that one going away. However, I did buy that for more archival collecting purposes, but technically it's the same juice. So now, if there was going to be a discontinuation of Jasmine's Marzipan, you bet your sweet little caboose, I would be purchasing a few backup bottles of that and also sending Lancome a strongly worded and quite frankly very rude letter. There we go. And if I could find a backup of Lavande Trianon or all the fragrances Guerlain has just recently discontinued, or Tempeh Passati is one that I'm searching for. Those are ones that I'm actively looking for. But I really don't own backups because I have so many fragrances, and if I keep itching my nose, I just keep itching my nose. It's just what I do. So those are the fragrances I don't currently have backups of, but I want, and then the ones that I have are like She, and again, I guess you could say Chanel number 5. Sienna asks, what are the least worn fragrances in my collection? Well, this might surprise you. The least worn fragrances in my collection by choice, because I have a lot of fragrances, so changes and moods, obviously, like I'm not going to wear everything a lot, and when I empty a bottle, it's like, oh my gosh, like it's a once in a 100-year thing, it feels like. But my least worn are actually some of my favorite fragrances. So I live in a very tropical climate. I used to live like down south, like South Florida, like Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. So I had a hard time wearing anything heavy or super kind of like barnyardy oud or challenging woody fragrances, because Freshies dominated it just because of the heat and humidity. And now living kind of like central northern Florida, it's still hot and humid here, but I can wear other fragrances more frequently. But the ones that I love to wear the most, you really can only wear when it's like below 50 degrees, no humidity. So there's not that many days in the year where I can wear these because they're just too potent. And the two fragrances are actually from Francis Kurkdjian, and it's Oud Velvet Mood and Oud Cashmere Mood. And I think one of them's discontinued, I don't know, and I might need to buy a backup of those two to go back to the previous question. But those fragrances, like Oud Cashmere Mood, smells like this really intense, like campfire, and I love it. Like burning wood, and I just love that smell. And Oud Velvet Mood smells very medicinal, like very aromatic and like semi-medicinal. Gorgeously powerful fragrance, but they're just too strong and complex and challenging to wear unless it's like, again, below 50 degrees. So just because I can only wear them like a few weeks out of the year, and then I have to wear other fragrances because I might want to wear other fragrances or reviewing something, just kind of by those are my least worn. But the fragrances I'm least excited to wear, so I don't wear unless I absolutely have to, based on people I'm hanging out with or the activities I'm doing throughout the day, I would say it would be Signorina from Salvador Ferragamo or Donna Karan Cashmere Mist. It's not that they're bad fragrances, I just am not as excited to wear them as, say, other designer fragrances. So I'd say those are the scents. And the last question is from Jelena Markovic, and if I mispronounced your name, I'm very sorry. And they asked, have you tried the new fragrance De Bois Siberian Rose? I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it. Love, from Australia. I haven't actually. I don't have that much experience with fragrance De Bois. I think I said it right, fragrance de bois. I'm really bad at French. Because like the house is very expensive. Now I did sample a good bit of their lineup. They did send me a bunch of discovery sets, and I did really, really like them. But I don't own any because I just haven't gotten around to purchasing them. Like they're really nice. I would really like to add at least like 2 of them to my collection, but there's other ones in front of it. However, I do enjoy their scents. I know that there's kind of some controversy on people liking them, people not liking them, but I will say generally their fragrances I thought were really nice, and I did look up the notes for Siberian Rose and it looks amazing. So I would probably see if I could get my hands on a decant or a sample of it, and if I do, I will most definitely share my thoughts with you, and hopefully I'll be doing that in the next like month or 2. But I haven't tried it. I've heard good things and I like the notes, so if I do get it, I will definitely share at least like a first impressions with you guys. Before I get into this discussion, I'm going to be referencing something. I referenced before that I have health issues, and a lot of people have health issues. I'm not special. But the best way for me to kind of move forward and still have, you know, like keeping personal information personal, but be able to kind of better explain my health issues is I'm a spoonie. And if you're unfamiliar with what a spoonie is or spoon theory, there's an amazing article and definitely check it out. And this person had this great theory, and it's pretty much like dead on. But spoon theory, like in a nutshell, is like you have, say, 12 spoons, and that is your allowance for the day. And so you get up, you use a spoon. You cook dinner, it's a spoon. You go outside, it's a spoon. Even taking a nap might take a spoon. Making a phone call, and then you might use spoons from another day, but that kind of wears you out. It's like a currency or a fuel. And the person that wrote the article does a way better job at describing it. But that's the best and closest way I can describe a few of my issues that I deal with is being a spoonie on top. But that doesn't mean that I'm not happy. And so to kind of move forward with where my channel's going and everything like that, being a spoonie and dealing with, you know, like anxiety, depression, and other things going on, I don't have that much energy and effort to do things that I love. And believe it or not, YouTube is one of my most favorite things to do. I love having a channel. I love sharing myself with you guys and also learning so much about fragrance from you guys. You guys are fantastic. But it does take a lot of energy. And over the course of years, I've been talking about, from the very beginning, updating my editing. I use iMovie very quickly to just edit in between things. I finally got a microphone and it's working, but I still need to get better at kind of working and editing with sound. And for the most part, my channel is edited in the same way it was in the very beginning. The difference that has changed is my experience. Now I'm filming on an iPad instead of my iPhone, and upgraded my lighting. Now I'm going to be talking about YouTube, like kind of talking about my channel, myself, other people, but just know that I love YouTube. And it's something that I take seriously, but it's nothing that I expected or, you know, like ever thought would be profitable. Now, what I mean by profitable is after the cost of everything, because for a lot of people, you do invest a lot of money in your YouTube channel. You do not have to, but a lot of people do. And for me, I want to be professional with YouTube. Now, that doesn't mean I want to be a pro. That does not mean I'm going to ever make enough money to say quit my job. And if I did, I'd still work because I love my jobs. I love what I do. I love this too. But for me, YouTube is, I spend a lot of spoons on YouTube and I love it. And it's something that I enjoy, and I want to be professional in regards to how I edit my channel and give you guys a more polished product. I want to do that for me. Now, the stuff that I talk about on my channel isn't the most like viral or popular, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with people who do those types of videos. And I also don't think that there's anything wrong with people who are ambitious with their channel. If numbers are important, if views are important, if AdSense is important, if you want to be pro, then go for it. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that ambition and being more professional with your channel in that capacity. Only doing the types of videos that are going to get you a lot of views, only doing the types of content that maybe are more sponsored because you want to be an influencer. I'm a content creator, I'm not an influencer. And as long as people are transparent and honest, that's all I want to say. If you want to be professional, if you want to go out there, you know, and travel the world and have all these amazing perks from a YouTube channel, and that's how you run your channel, as long as you're honest and transparent, then awesome. For me, my channel has always been about connecting with people because I don't have a lot of energy to be out, and I'm not really a good person out in public. I'm very painfully shy. So for me, this is more about what I want to see is the engagement, like talking. And again, just because somebody can talk doesn't mean that they're gonna like you. And I'm not sitting here saying that I did YouTube to make friends, but it's a way to communicate with you guys about scent. And that's kind of like what I mean. I also like to bring you guys content that I think I would like to see out there, talking about fragrance houses that aren't talked about, that maybe aren't the most popular, reviewing fragrances that maybe people don't care too much about, but maybe one or two people do. That's the fulfillment I get out of my channel. And just because I get that fulfillment out of my channel doesn't mean that my feelings are more true or I have more integrity than people who are more ambitious with their channel. That's not what I'm saying. The only thing that separates us is what we do YouTube for. As long as we're honest and transparent with everything else, we're on the same page. I don't have more integrity because I talk about things that are less hyped or less popular. That's not fair to those people and the hard work and the effort and the energy and the love they have. Now, I'm not saying everybody is good. What I'm saying is like, if you're honest and transparent and you want to have a popular channel where you have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and you make a living off of it, then that's awesome. For me, it's about sitting down and bringing you guys content that I want to see out there, kind of like filling the cracks. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to be more professional with how I bring you my content. So I have a hard time starting things if I'm unsure of how it's going to go. So like, I edit on iMovie. It's what I've always edited on, but I've had the editing software. It's just very overwhelming for me. It's not overwhelming to me that I can't. I know that if I sat down and tried, I could get it. Like, I'm not worried about my abilities to learn. I just don't have the energy to learn. And that's what's overwhelming. It's just my tiredness, my anxiety. It's not that I don't think I couldn't succeed. It's just, man, I'm tired. Man, I don't want to do it. I can do it this way, which is easy, that I know how to do. So because I'm going to be completely giving this entire room, literally, the plan was to take this room to the studs and completely restructure this room, like rebuild this room, but that's none, I don't know. My thought is like, I'm going to be spending a lot of time and effort updating this room. I can also spend that time and effort updating. So what that means for my channel, first and foremost, is starting now, I'm going to try and give you guys 5 videos a week, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I don't know if I'm going to have the energy for that because I don't have that many spoons, and I'm starting to have to make a lot of decisions and go out of the house and do a lot of physical stuff because this room is going to be completely different, at least for the most part. Like putting in floor, we're getting tracking for the ceiling so the lights hang from the ceiling so you can pull them down and adjust them. This entire room is going to be a filming studio, and I'm going to have the ability to film in any corner of this room in a way that is very convenient. And that just takes a lot of energy for me personally, and that also means that I'm probably not going to have, again, as many spoons to film, but I am going to want to film because I enjoy this. So my thought is at least 3 videos a week. They might not be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They might be Monday, Tuesday, Sunday. I don't know. It's whenever I get to it. But I'm going to do at least 3 videos a week, at least until this room is done. Also, I'm going to be filming this project start to finish. So that's the other thing, is that it's going to take a lot of energy to figure that out, because even me just sitting on the floor, and if you guys have seen my content, sometimes I'm over here and there's all this space. Like, that takes me time to screw up that bad. So if I do this, this is a one-time thing. I can't like film it and then like rip all the flooring out, put all the flooring in, check the video and be like, oh no, we're off center. No. So it's going to take a lot of energy for me to do that, and that's going to be taking spoons. And so I'm going to be kind of not being able to do too many videos just because of that. Now, at some point, these guys are going to have to move. So the next few weeks, you might see some of my fragrances disappear just because I'm going to have to start boxing them and getting them safe. Because like I said, this entire room, everything is going. Now, originally I was going to be doing cabinets that were completely 100% custom, and they probably still will be, but we might do some kind of prefab. I've been looking to see if I can find like vintage wooden cabinets that are just kind of like bland and boring, because the price of wood is so expensive that when we originally were budgeting for this project, it's over double what it would cost if we did everything, if we did custom cabinets. So if I can find exactly what I was looking for in like prefab wooden cabinets for a good chunk of it, we can build around it, but it has to be like wood. I don't want particle board. Just personally, if I'm going to build something, I'm building something. So that's something that we've been looking at, but I am really excited. I'm doing this because I want to, and I'm trying to convince somebody to let me do a custom exotic wood butcher block table that probably would be 16 feet long and 3 feet wide, but somebody says that that is not a good idea, and you know what? They're probably right. I would love it, but doing all that is exciting. It's going to affect my channel because it's a lot of planning, and planning things and making decisions takes a lot of spoons. So that's why my channel is going to be a little less frequent, but I am going to try and do 5 days a week. If I can, those videos will be out, but I am going to be having different videos, different content. Slowly you're going to see this room emptied, and then I'll probably be filming someplace throughout the house for like a month or two while we do this room. It's just my videos. The next, I'd say 6 months are going to be very sporadic, very hectic, very random, but I am excited. So I do have a few not sponsor videos. I don't take sponsorships. Somebody doesn't give me money, but I guess a free bottle for a review could be considered a sponsored video. I do have a few free bottles to review, and then I have a lot, I mean a lot of backlog videos to come out, some different types of videos, some different structure to my channel, different editing. It's just a lot. So it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of decisions, and I only have so much energy in the day. So that's why the next few months is going to be random, but I am also very excited because at the end of that journey, I'm going to have a brand new space, and hopefully at the time I will also have had the energy to edit differently and get my sound, to get everything a little bit more polished and professional. Again, this is a hobby. I'm not a pro, I'm not an influencer, I'm a content creator, and this is something that I enjoy doing, and a lot of people enjoy hobbies and invest a lot of money in their hobbies, even if it's not something that's profitable, and YouTube isn't profitable. And that's fine. Excited for everything. So I'm going to end this video here. I've been talking way too much. I don't think I made a quite good point, but hopefully you guys at least got the gist of it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions on the questions that I answered, or a continuation of a discussion, or if you have any excitement or don't care at all about my room, let me know in the comment section below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.